Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says all barriers must be thrown down, one after the other, for the being to put on the integral amplitude of all the possibilities of manifestation. With my love and blessings, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Divine Mother. From the collective works of our Divine Mother, Question and Answers, Volume 4, 21st December 1950, between Question and Answers answered by our Divine Mother between 1950-51. Date 21st December 1950, page 1. Prayers and Meditations, 10th October 1914, our Divine Mother has stated, O consciousness, immobile and serene, thou watchest at the confines of the world like a sphinx of eternity. And yet, to some, thou confidest thy secret. These can become thy sovereign will, which chooses without preference, executes without desire.
Only the everlasting No has neared and stared into the eyes and killed thy heart. But where is the lover's everlasting yes, and immortality in the secret heart, the voice that chants to the Creator far, the symbols, oh, the great ascending word.
A Divine Mother states, this immobile consciousness is the mother of dreams. The Mother of Dreams is a poem by our Lord Sri Aurobindo from the collected poems of page 67. The Sphinx of Eternity, who keeps vigil on the confines of the world like an enigma to be solved. This enigma is the problem of our life, the very raison d'etre of the universe. The problem of our life is to realize the divine, or rather to become once again aware of the divine, who is the universe, the origin, cause, and goal of life. Those who find the secret of the Sphinx of Eternity, those who find the secret of the Sphinx of Eternity become that active and creative power. Our Divine Mother says to choose without preference and execute without desire is a great difficulty at the very root of the development of true consciousness and self-control. To choose in this sense means to see what is true and bring it into existence, and to choose thus without the least personal bias for anything, any person, action, circumstance is exactly what is most difficult for an ordinary human being. Yet, one must learn to act without any preference, free from all attractions and likings, taking one's stand solely on the truth which guides. And having chosen in accordance with the truth the necessary action, one must carry it out without any desire. If you observe yourself attentively, says our Divine Mother, If you observe yourself attentively, you will see that before acting, you need an inner impetus, something which pushes you. In the ordinary man,
breaking the vacancy and voiceless hush, piercing the limitless unknowable into the liberty of the motionless depth, a beautiful and felicitous luster stone imaged itself in a surprising beam and built a golden passage to his heart, touching through him all along its sentient sea.
a Divine Mother says, if you observe yourself attentively, you will see that before acting, you need an inner impetus, something which pushes you. In the ordinary man, this impetus is generally desire. This desire ought to be replaced by a clear, precise, constant vision of the truth. Our Divine Mother says, some call this the voice of God or the will of God. The true meaning of these words has been falsified, so I prefer to speak of the truth, though this is but a very limited aspect of that which we cannot name, but which is the source and the goal of all existence. I deliberately do not use the word God because religions have given this name to an all powerful being who is other than his creation and outside it. It is not correct. This is not correct. However, on the physical plane, the difference is obvious, for we are yet all that we no longer want to be, and He is all that we want to become. Question, sweet mother, how can we know what the divine will is? For this, our Divine Mother says, one does not know it, one feels it. And in order to feel it, one must will with such an intensity, such sincerity, that every obstacle disappears. As long as you have a preference, a desire, an attraction, a liking, all these veil the truth from you. Hence, the first thing to do is to try to master, govern, correct all the moments of your consciousness and eliminate those which cannot be changed until all becomes a perfect and permanent expression of the truth. And even to will, this is not enough, for very often one forgets to will it. What is necessary is an aspiration which burns in the being like a constant fire. And every time you have a desire, a preference, an attraction, it must be thrown into this fire. If you do this persistently, you will see that a little gleam of true consciousness begins to dawn in your ordinary consciousness.
Burning love from white spiritual sound annulled the soul of the ignorant dead. Suffering was lost in her immortal mind.
A Divine Mother says, at first it will be faint, very far, behind all the din of desires, preferences, attractions, and likings. But you must go behind all this and find the true consciousness, all calm, tranquil, almost silent. Those who are in contact with the true consciousness see the possibilities at the same time and may deliberately choose even the most unfavorable if necessary. But to reach to this point, you must go a long way. Question, sweet mother, should preferences be neutralized or forgotten? For that, a divine mother says, one should not have them. One should not have a preference. When the mind becomes silent, when it stops judging, pushing itself forward with its so called knowledge, one begins to solve the problem of life. One must refrain from judging, for the mind is only an instrument of action, not an instrument of true knowledge. True knowledge comes from elsewhere. If one refrained from judging, one would arrive at an ever more precise knowledge of the truth, and 9/10 of the world's misery would disappear. The great disorder in the world would, to a large extent, be neutralized if the mind could admit that it does not know. Then a sadhak quotes words from our Lord Sri Aurobindo's works of Thoughts and Glimpses from volume 16, page 377. When we pass beyond enjoyings, we shall have bliss. Desire was the helper, desire is the bar. For this, our Divine Mother says, according to the stage where you are, naturally I speak to those who sincerely want to become conscious of their true truth and to express it in their life. I think this holds true for all who are here. And I tell the teachers that they must teach more and more in accordance with the truth. For if we have a school here, it is in order that it be different from the millions of schools in the world. It is to give the children a chance to distinguish between ordinary life and the divine life, the life of truth, to see things in a different way. It is useless to want to repeat here the ordinary life. The teacher's mission is to open the eyes of the children to something which they will not find anywhere else, says our Divine Mother. In the next series of December 23rd, 1950, our Divine Mother reads out the article about concentration and dispersion from the book on education and then comments and says, to solve a problem, to learn a lesson, a lot of concentration and attention is needed. Everyone knows that. An intellectual attention and concentration. But concentration is not only an intellectual thing. It may be found in all the activities of the being, including bodily activities. A Divine Mother says the control over the nerves should be such as would allow you a complete concentration on what you're doing, and through the very intensity of your concentration, you acquire an immediate response to external touches.
Transformed in her. Our life shall find in its fulfilled response above the boundless hush beatitude, below the wonder of the embrace divine. This known as inner sunderflesh of God, the rapture of things eternal filled his lips. Amazement fell upon his ravished sense. His spirit was caught in her sees his heart acknowledge only her.
A Divine Mother says to attain this concentration, you need a conscious control of the energies. Are you conscious of the energies you receive and those you spend? One is more or less conscious of the energy one spends, especially when one wastes it too much. It is a question here of the constant exchange between receiving and spending. Before the age of reason, little children receive a lot of energy and they spend it lavishly without thinking. And this allows them to play for hours together without getting tired. But gradually, as thought develops, one begins to measure and calculate the energy spent. Usually, this is futile, for unless you have the knowledge of the process of receiving energy, it is better to spend freely what you get than let it stagnate within you. First, you must become conscious of receiving the energy, then passing it into your being and their expenditure. Next, you must have a sort of higher instinct which tells you whence the most favorable energies come. Then you put yourself in contact with them through thought, through stillness, or any other process. There are many. You must know what energy you want when it comes, of what it is composed. Later comes the control of the energy received. 90% of men do not absorb enough energy or take in too much and do not assimilate what they take. As soon as they had a sufficient dose, they immediately throw it out by becoming restless, talking, shouting. You must know how to keep within you the received energy and concentrate it fully on the desired activity and not on anything else. If you can do this, you won't need to use your will. You need only gather together all the energies received and use them consciously, concentrate with the maximum attention in order to do everything you want to. And you must know how to give a real value to what you want to do, what the higher part of your being wants to do, for to do what one likes to do is not difficult. What is concentration? For this, our Divine Mother says, it is to bring back all the scattered threads of consciousness to a single point, a single idea. Those who can attain perfect attention succeed in everything they undertake. They will always make a rapid progress. And this kind of concentration can be developed exactly like the muscles. One may follow different systems, different methods of training. Today, we know that the most pitiful weakling, for example, can with discipline become as strong as anyone else. One should not have a will which flickers out like a candle. The will, concentration must be cultivated. It is a question of method of regular exercise. If you will, you can. But the thought is what's the use? Must not come in to weaken the will. The idea that one is born with certain characters and can do nothing about is a stupidity, says our Divine Mother. Question, sweet mother, what is the difference between meditation and concentration? Our Divine Mother says meditation in page 7 under series 25th December 1950. Our Divine Mother says meditation is purely mental activity. It interests only the mental being. One can concentrate while meditating, but this is a mental concentration. One can get a silence, but it is purely mental silence. And the other parts of the being are kept immobile, inactive, so as not to disturb the meditation. You must pass 20 hours of the day in meditation, and for the remaining 4 hours, you will be an altogether ordinary man because only the mind has been occupied. The rest of the being, like the vital, the physical, is kept under pressure so that it may not disturb. In meditation, nothing is directly done for the other parts of the being. Certainly, this indirect action can have an effect, but I have known in my life people whose capacity for meditation was remarkable, but when not in meditation, were quiet, ordinary men, even at times ill natured people who would become furious if the meditation was disturbed. For they had to learn to master only their mind, they had learned only to master their mind, not the rest of their being. Concentration is a more active state. You may concentrate mentally, you may concentrate vitally, physically, psychically, and you may concentrate integrally. Concentration, or the capacity to gather oneself at one point, is more difficult than meditation. You may gather together one portion of your being or the consciousness, or may gather together the whole of your consciousness or even fragments of it. That is concentration. May be partial, total, or integral, and in any case, the result will be different. If you have the capacity to concentrate, your meditation will be more interesting and easier. But one can meditate without concentrating. Many follow a chain of ideas in their meditation. It is meditation, not concentration.
The voice that chants to the Creator far, the symbols, oh, the great ascending word.
A Divine Mother says in the beginning, yes, for you have not the capacity to keep what you have acquired, maintain your concentration at its maximum, you slip back and lose even the memory of the experience you have had. But if you once follow a path, it is easier to follow the same path a second time, and so on. The second concentration is therefore easier than the first one. You must persevere in your concentration till you come to the point when you no longer lose the inner contact. From that time onwards, you must remain in this inner and higher consciousness from where you can do everything. You see your body and the material world, and you know what is to be done and how to do it. That is the first aim of concentration, but not naturally, not the last. To attain that concentration, much effort is necessary. An immediate or even a quick result is rarely possible. But if the inner door has once been opened, you may be sure that it will open again if you know how to persevere. As long as the door has not opened, you may doubt your capacity, but once opened, no more doubt is possible if you go on willing and aspiring. This experience has a considerable value, says our Divine Mother.